Welcome to Nacho Average Cinema. I'm Pepper,
And I'm Zach.
and today not Zach, will be predicting the match card for WrestleMania 41. We are 3 to 4 months away at this point, and we know the Royal Rumble winners. You think that would help, but I still think this is one of the most unpredictable and confusing setups for a WrestleMania. I have no clue. I had a really hard time putting this match card together. And you have not done yours yet. Yours will be released within a week of this video. So subscribe and knock on those notifications so that you get notified when we drop Zach's list as well. And then you can compare and vote for which you think is more likely and which you would rather see. But yeah, this is predictions, not fantasy booking. We might do fantasy booking, so comment below if you want us to fantasy book WrestleMania and how we would book it. But this is predictions. We are limited to kind of what they've set up for WrestleMania, the ongoing storylines, and just I feel like if I did this a week earlier, or maybe before the Royal Rumble, I'd feel more confident in this because I had my mind set on a few matches, and now it feels like those really don't work as well. Uh, After some things that have happened on the Royal Rumble, on the Raw and SmackDown, I tried to stick to them and tried to force them in here because I do want to see them, but we will see.
Yeah, I agree. A lot has already happened that changes what I thought just a few weeks ago. So, yeah, let us know, Pepper. What is your first match? I guess do you have them in an order?
I do not have it in an
Okay.
order. Like, I don't know what's going to main event night one, or I think I know what would main event night two, but I just have the first match being the only one that is actually announced, and that is Gunther versus Jay Uso. I did think this is how it was going to go when once Jay won the Royal Rumble for sure.
If
Just
you'd have thought
because
this is how it was going to go before the Rumble, I would be pretty shocked, Pepper. I'd be very,
it
very
was
happy with you.
slightly on the radar because he felt pretty determined. He cut some promo before the Rumble and like, I know I can beat Gunther. And I'm like, are they gonna run this again and give him the belt? I didn't know it main event WrestleMania. I thought maybe they take the belt off Gunther before and set up some Uso match or whatever. But yeah, this is not the most likely of scenarios in my head, but here we have it, and I think unless someone gets added to this to make it a triple threat, I think this one is pretty set in stone. And it kind of ties into my second match here that I think we will be getting. Maybe I know one half of it, and it's for the United States Championship. And the one half that I'm sure of is not even the champion. I am just sure that Jimmy Uso will be, I think, winning the United States Championship and kind of have that Uso brothers both having a singles title and celebrate it the same night. And I just don't think that they're gonna take the belt off of Shinsuke before WrestleMania just to have that person then lose it at WrestleMania. So that is I don't feel like it's quite Mania worthy. Shinsuke hasn't been built up as a big threat with the championship, but just because it's two Usos winning belts, I think they'll both be on the show.
Yeah, this is a good one. I don't think this is where mine will go. I think this one will stray for me a decent amount, but yeah. Uh, I feel like the hard part about this one is, like you said, ever since, I mean, they brought Shinsuke back, and I think that they've kind of brought him back like twice, like kind of with this really cool character, and then they just like let it disappear. I don't know why. He feels way different than everyone else on the card, but they just don't want to give him anything. And yeah, so that makes it very difficult to know what exactly they're going to be doing with the U.S. title. But I think this is a good shout.
Yes. So, how happy are you gonna be when we have both of the Usos with singles titles? He
Oh
is
my gosh,
Zack.
that's going to be more titles than stars their WrestleMania match received. Oh, sick.
Wow, wow, wow. And next up, I am going with the other Royal Rumble winner. I think Charlotte is going to cash in her shot on Tiffany Stratton. This is a match that people have been talking about for a long time. It kind of makes sense. They feel like similar characters, and Charlotte comes back. I didn't think she'd win the Rumble. I didn't think she needed that. I thought she'd just eventually challenge for it. But now that it's locked in that she does have that Rumble, it's really two options, and they've already done Charlotte and Rhea Ripley multiple times. Maybe they want to make it a trilogy at WrestleMania, but I think they just want to go with this new matchup and hopefully establish Tiffy time as a top player in the scene, or possibly send her down the card and give Charlotte another championship. I don't know which of those is more likely. It might actually be more likely that Charlotte wins this, but I don't want to think about that possibility. But I think this match is happening.
Yeah, I'm still not sure where I fall on the women's matches. But yeah, I think whatever one Charlotte challenges for, I think she's gonna win. We will
Ooh,
eventually do WrestleMania predictions once we are actually probably like week of. So yeah,
yeah.
stay tuned for that as well. But we'll see if my prediction stays the same. But I think I will predict that Charlotte will win whatever one she's challenging for.
Okay.
If she doesn't win it like, weeks prior, if they have like some weird, sometimes they
Yeah.
like, I don't know, hot shot these things and random episode of SmackDown have them win the belt, and it's like, okay, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Next up has just a match between two people, nothing at stake except pride. And this was kind of set up in the Royal Rumble where Logan Paul eliminated AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. I could see AJ going for a title, a mid-card title, but it seems like AJ Styles just never really gets the showcase, at least kind of star power, height of importance at WrestleMania that I think he should. He had one world title match, but otherwise, I think his first one was the random feud with Chris Jericho. He's faced Shane McMahon. It just seems like he faces random people at WrestleMania. And why not a random Logan Paul? I think this would be a phenomenal match. I think both of these guys can. I mean, Logan Paul has surprised, I think, a lot of people, myself included, with what he can do in ring and high flying moves that he does, and AJ can still do it. As old as he is, the veteran that he can still deliver uh, phenomenal, again, matches. So I think this will be a great match, but overall, probably going to feel like kind of a waste of AJ for one of probably his last WrestleManias. But I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, that's the tough part. Like, it'll see because I feel like as I've been going through my prediction, trying to put together what I think the match card will be, I get too much into possibly the fantasy booking stuff, and like you said, it's like AJ's probably only got like a couple of these left, and I want to make it count. And I guess Logan Paul's probably like one of the biggest stars in WWE. You could argue maybe not as like a actual like wrestler, but outside of that, he's probably got one of the biggest audiences out of anyone.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a good rub for AJ. So it's not like a terrible thing. I guess it's better than a Shane McMahon, but I guess Shane McMahon was best in the world. So
That's true. That's true. I guess he had the Undertaker match, so
well, that's
I think
true.
he's a pretty
He
big
had
one.
Undertaker's last match.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
And if Logan is getting to be more full time, which it sounds like he wants to be, guess it could be a little bigger than I'm imagining, but we'll see. And next up is a match that I do not want to see because it concerns one of my favorites, Drew McIntyre, going against one that I just do not buy into. Other than a few different parts in his recent run, Damian Priest. This was, I guess, yeah, they do have history, and it might be kind of cool to bookend last WrestleMania where Damian Priest cashed in on Drew McIntyre, and now having a match here. But this feels like the smallest match on the card. probably of the entire card when I look at it. I just want bigger and better things for Drew McIntyre, and I don't know. I just don't think the Damian Priest because they did fight. I think after that, and Drew got cost the win thanks to CM Punk. They tease like they're going to revisit this. He eliminated Drew from the Rumble. I just don't know why they would do that if not to lead to a match. But they've set up so many things they can't all come to fruition. So hopefully this one doesn't. But I don't know what Damian Priest does if he doesn't do this. I don't know what Drew McIntyre does if he doesn't do this. Especially now that it seems like he's kind of stopped hunting the bloodline, which I would have liked him to do. He could continue that, but I don't know. I don't know. I just fear the worst, and I feel like that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Damian Priest's high point was when maybe the Judgment Day was at their high point, and it feels like long days have passed since that was a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Damien's kind of just been stuck in this. Well, he's been stuck with Finn Balor, which I don't understand how a feud can go on that long with. Like I was excited for that when that would eventually happen, and I just feel like it did not live up to any of what I was hoping for, and it just was kind of a disappointment. And yeah, and then on the other hand, or on the other side, Drew had one of the best years of wrestling last year, and I think that's why it would feel so disappointing that he'd be paired with someone that didn't have a great year. Not to say that he couldn't, because like you said, there were moments like where, I think, if he, I don't know, just gets the
Yeah.
right storyline, it could work, but I don't know that I love it.
Yeah, yeah, when Finn initially turned on Damien and he just was full of rage at that moment, I was like, okay, Damien, this is it. You've got it. And they captured that perfectly, and I was like, okay, I can buy into this character finally. And then they wait like a month or something to even continue that feud, and I think that just really killed a lot of the momentum. But maybe they can build something up here,
Mhm.
hopefully. Next up, we have another match that I don't know. I thought they would tease this by now. Jade Cargill coming back, and I assumed to face Bianca Belair. We got Naomi in the background, who I think is going to be the one who had taken out Jade Cargill in the storyline. I can't believe we didn't get Jade Cargill at Royal Rumble. If we don't get her at Elimination Chamber, because I think both Naomi and Bianca will likely be in, at least one of them in the chamber. I'm like, Jade's got to interfere there somehow. Maybe she doesn't even come back by WrestleMania. Maybe she returns at WrestleMania to mess with one of these, maybe cost them the tag championships. But I'm like, it just takes 1 week where Jade shows up and you set up this match. So I'm still hoping that that is where they go because Bianca's one of the best superstars in the business. Jade has a lot of aura still. They've really built her up to be kind of this next big thing. Naomi, not as much. For me, I'm not a big fan of Naomi, so that's why this is not a triple threat. I could see it working its way into a triple threat, especially with Naomi betraying Bianca and Jade, and then Jade getting mad at both of them. I could see it being triple threat, but I would think maybe Jade takes out Naomi, and she's kind of just out of the picture at this point. But I would love to see this match.
I think this one will be a spot where we vary as well. I am less under the impression that Jade is going to be coming back. I don't know. Like you said, since she didn't come at the Royal Rumble, I mean, I feel like the women Royal Rumbles are always, I wouldn't say lacking, but can always use another star.
Yeah,
And it's like you got that and you didn't use her, so that just makes me worried about either plans or if she, I don't know if she's injured or what's going on.
yeah.
But that makes me a little more hesitant. So I think I will differ on this one with you.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Bianca's in the elimination. Maybe she wins it, and that's kind of a thing that's throwing me off as well. I think she does have a chance just looking at the women that are in there.
Mhm.
But for my championship match for the World Heavyweight Women's Championship, I'm still hooked on Io making it to this match, and the way they have. I thought she was going to win the Rumble. I thought she would sneak into the chamber once she lost the match. And now they say she gets a match for the championship, the Raw after Elimination Chamber. And I'm like,
Yep.
what? This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't compute with my brain, with my predictions. But I think that just the way they're building it, that she kind of gets screwed out of these things. It just feels like that's a bigger story than just like 1 month thing, just to like keep her out of the chamber. It just would be really weird if the end of it was just losing after Elimination Chamber and going out of the picture. So I think this will continue longer, and she will make it a triple threat by earning her way in there. And I struggle to know if it's going to be Bianca or Liv Morgan to actually be the third person, the one that actually wins the Elimination Chamber. I think they might want to just cap off the whole year-long rivalry with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Plus, Liv just didn't seem like she had as obvious of a match. I thought maybe she could face Alexa Bliss. That was kind of a match I was thinking of, but I just felt Bianca had more to do elsewhere. So I end up with this triple threat, which I think could be match of the night, whatever night it's put on. Same if Bianca's in here instead. Any combination of all those four women, I think, could be just a fantastic match. But this is the first of maybe multiple triple threat matches that I ended up making because it's so hard to fit all this talent into. I think I ended up having a 16 match card, which has happened in recent WrestleManias, but it's about the max. So I struggled.
Yeah. I mean, we could easily see that in the Royal Rumble when you had like what seemed like 5 to 10 straight entrants of just main event feeling talent. And that wasn't even counting all the women that are at the top now too. It's like, wow, I don't know how you fit this even in 2 nights. I'm just like thinking back to when they had them one night. I'm like, I don't even know how you would ever make those decisions these days to, I mean, I think they were making the day longer and longer,
Yeah,
so they'd probably have like a freaking 15-hour WrestleMania then instead, which would be insane. But I'm like, how do you decide who makes that match card if, if instead you only have maybe then at most 10 matches and
yeah.
you're shortening them? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think they did get longer and longer and just more and more matches, like up to 14 and one straight shot and like the triple threat, the first women's main event. I think that started after midnight. So they definitely right to make it 2 night. We might need to go to 3 night the way this thing keeps going. So maybe a whole week. But I mentioned Alexa Bliss, and I really thought she was going to face Liv Morgan, but this whole Elimination Chamber thing threw that up in the air. So I was like, you have to have Alexa Bliss on this card. And I think that the best shot here is to challenge for the United States Women's Championship against Chelsea Green, who I think will have a decent run at this point, quite a lengthy run, long enough for her to drop the title to Alexa Bliss. This is the last, I just added this to this right before we started, just because I thought I need Alexa Bliss on this thing. I could see this being defended on SmackDown before WrestleMania, just to keep the card a little smaller and make that show elevated a little bit, but I just thought got nothing to do with these. I think this one's a little more prestigious than the women's Intercontinental, so throw it on here.
Nice.
Then next up, we have a tag team match. Got to get Penta on here. Tag them up with Rey Mysterio, two big baby faces that
Uh,
everyone loves. But
Everyone wants them to be a tag team. Everyone's been asking for it. They're like, "Ooh, you gotta put Rey Mysterio and Penta together."
you gotta. And who better to face than the two most hated people? The New Day. I'm like, you got to get a big heel boo spot for the New Day, and you got to get a big spot for Penta. Team 'em. I think they fought Ray and Dragon Lee, so just rerun that match, but with Penta instead of Dragon Lee. Sorry, Dragon Lee, but you've been replaced. So this is what I have here. I I could see it being Ray versus Penta and New Day trying to get on the card and kind of getting maybe a celebrity, maybe The Rock shows up and says, "You get off of WrestleMania." rock bottoms them or something like that. But this is what I went with. I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, I could see this happening, and I am dabbling in how I think all of these are going to make the WrestleMania card, and I'm thinking similar. It's not quite what you've got here, but
Okay.
I've got some similar thoughts.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Next up is a very random match. I'm just going to skip to it, and you're going to be like, what the heck is this match? We got Bayley versus Nikki Bella. And this was set up only because I saw a clip after they were both eliminated from the Rumble. One goes up to the other, I forget which one it was, and kind of slaps them or pushes them aside, and then they start arguing at ringside. And I'm like, this feels a lot like kind of those backstage, not meant to be seen, kind of Kevin Owens attacking Cody Rhodes and different things like that, that did end up setting up rivalries. So I this is just a random shout trying to get a very unpredictable one spot on. Nikki Bella has teased wrestling some more, but she probably won't even be on the show, and this will just look like a ridiculous prediction. But also, I don't know where the heck Bailey goes, so this is where I got her.
Yeah, I think I've. Well, we'll see.
Oh boy, we'll see. We'll see.
But I don't. Well, so the thing I just saw was in NXT, Bailey just competed, and Roxanne
Oh,
came out doing the old hugger thing as a heel tactic.
ooh,
So she might be on if they have like is it Stand and Deliver? Is that what
thank
it's
you.
called? So she might be on that instead.
Oh,
But
that would, yeah, that makes more sense. That's right, she is in NXT. Okay,
but
so
yeah,
throw that down.
but yeah, I've heard the same thing that I possibly want to get Nikki in. So, but this is as good a shout as anyone I think because I don't know who else I would have her face. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Team up with John Cena or something, maybe like that.
There we go. Especially when he can't get on the card.
Next up, I have the Intercontinental Championship match.
Oh boy, what's he
There's
gonna
so many
do?
ways this could go, but I think you need Sheamus and Braun Breaker. You need Sheamus, hopefully, to win the championship, finally get his Grand Slam. But I think you need a little, I think you need a third wheel in there to kind of make you be like, no, no, not them. We want Sheamus. And I think who better than
The
Dirty
Miz.
Dominic
Oh,
Mysterio?
close.
And that Dirty Dom, he is going to take such a beating in this. He's going to take ridiculously overpowered spears. He's going to take 200 beats of whatever the heck Sheamus does. And everyone is going to love it. So he's going to take a lot of abuse. There's going to be spots where he almost just sneaks away with the win, and everyone's just going to hate him so much. It's going to make this match not only like, please win, Sheamus, but please don't win, Dominic. And people love Braun Breaker. This is going to be an amazing match, and I just am trying to will it into existence here because I really, once I thought of this, I'm like, oh, I really want to see that.
Yeah, now that you brought this up, I really want to see it as well. But yeah, this isn't quite what I had, but I do like it quite a bit.
Open. Next up, we have, oh, this is also confusing. Another injury related person that I'm waiting for them to come back. Thought they'd come back at the Rumble. And that is Randy Orton. And I think he will be taking on Kevin Owens. You have to revisit this. He took him out for months now. And I gotta think that Sami Zayn's got to be involved in here somewhere. I don't have Sami Zayn on the card. I didn't know where he fit if he wasn't with Kevin Owens. Maybe turns heel and turns on Randy here and helps Kevin. I could see something like that. So Sami Zayn might be looming in the background of this rivalry, but you need this match. And Randy, I don't know if he's actually injured. I think he should be good to go. And it would be a shame if he did not make it for WrestleMania. So he's good to go. He's going to be there. And this is who he's got to face.
Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. Um, I had one other idea potentially for Randy. but
We'll
um,
see.
I don't know. It might be too close to the edge of fantasy booking, so it might not make my final card.
Okay, Randy Orton and Edge were taking winning the tag championships. Right on the
Against
edge.
the Hardy Boys.
TLC. I could see it. And next up is another one, the Bloodline. I don't know what to do with the Bloodline here. Everything is up in the air. Now Solo's back. Now he's going after Cody Rhodes. What is going
That's
on
true.
here? But I have Solo versus I Hate You. Solo, Jacob Fatu for some Ufalafa, Ulafala, whatever, to be the secondary tribal chief. I don't know what it is. I think that these, unless one of them, unless Solo is facing Roman again or Cody again, I don't know what else he does. So I think they have to go against each other here. I just don't know how you get them both on the card if they're not facing each other.
I would agree. I think these are another set of very difficult ones, as to what they would even do or if they would do this, especially since right now Jacob Fatu is kind of involved with Strowman.
Yeah,
I don't know how that's going to play out. If that's going to be played out by
that's
WrestleMania or if
true.
that's going to
They could
continue
have
into it.
just Monster Mania. Could be pretty fun. Yeah. And next up, you might be asking, where are the tag team matches? Well, I got all the tag teams, at least on SmackDown. For those SmackDown tag titles, I've got a six-pack ladder match. We've got pretty much all the teams over there, pretty deadly. Some Garzas or whatever, Profits, A-Town Down Under, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY. Ladder tag matches at WrestleMania just are kind of almost a tradition. Like every now and then they like to do it. They did it last year to split the belts, and
Mhm.
there's so many people in that division that can put on amazing matches. I hope they do it again.
Yeah, I think this one makes a lot of sense. I think one way or another we're going to have one of these big tag team matchups, and I honestly, I mean, it's probably really hard on them, on their bodies and
Yeah,
stuff, but I feel like when you do, if you are going to include a bunch of tag teams, I much prefer this over the
yes,
stupidity that is like a four-way tag match and only two people are competing at once and you have to tag the other team and it makes
yeah,
absolutely no sense.
yeah.
Uh,
It is pretty dumb, pretty dumb. So just ladders all the way. Keep it ladders, baby. And then we have set up by Rumble. That's what most of these just feuds, hatred feuds are, except this one was set up over like a decade now. And that is Roman Reigns and Seth
ooh.
Rollins. Just that spot. He double foot stomped him outside the ring there. He stomped him on on the stairs, putting him out of action through maybe through all the way to WrestleMania, possibly nearly. I think we got to get this match, and we got to get it at Mania. It's never happened one-on-one at Mania. Feels a bit of a shame that it's not for the title, so I don't know if it can snag a main event spot. But at the same time, it does not need a title. These guys hate each other. Roman's never been able to beat Seth one-on-one. So much story to dive into here, and The Rock's not coming back for Roman. This is probably the best time to do this, while neither of them really have a set thing to do.
Mhm. I agree. I'm gonna see if I can get myself to do this matchup because this is the matchup I think I really would rather want versus the one that's kind of circulating around, I think, as a possible main event of maybe the whole show, even of a triple threat match potentially. I don't
Mhm.
love the thought of the triple threat match, but I may not be able to get away from it.
He
We will
may not
see.
be able to get away from it. But speaking of triple threat main event matches, I ended up having one you can probably figure out. It's a World Championship match. Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk versus John Cena. CM Punk's going to be in a triple threat, one way or another. It's either this
He's
one.
going to be, and I much prefer him in this match.
Yes, I think I don't know which one wins the Elimination Chamber. It's got to be Cena or Punk, and the other one's going to work their way in there. So a very similar story to the women's match that I have on The other side with Io and Rhea and Liv, going to be pretty much the same thing here. I'm guessing Cena wins the chamber and then Punk cashes in this favor from Paul Heyman to maybe get in here or at least get a match to qualify to get into here. Maybe he's got to pull double duty. Maybe he's got to win a match on night one. I really like when they do tie together night one consequences with night two. So maybe it's something like that, or uh, I just really think Cena needs to go for a title at WrestleMania, needs the main event. Punk needs the main event. Cody's got the title. Gunther's already set. This is what it's got to be, and it's a dream match. It's like the guy that the face of the company, John Cena back then, that no one wanted, the face that they did want with CM Punk, and then kind of both of those put together with the face of the company that the fans and the company want in Cody Rhodes. It's a crazy matchup. Who would have ever thought a few years ago that we'd be seeing John Cena, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, World Championship, WrestleMania main event as a possibility, and hopefully the actual outcome. I'd love to see it. This is this is main event. Nothing can compete.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And yeah, I think this is a solid card. This could definitely happen. I could see these things playing out this way. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anyone off the top of my head that I can think of that I'm like, oh, you didn't include him because you said Sami Zayn. That's probably the first one that I would think of. But I think, yeah, pretty much everyone else that I would think deserves or should be on the card was on there. So,
Yeah. I mean
uh,
it's I mean we don't
and
have
it's not an outstanding amount of triple threat matches like
yeah.
I'm currently in my head trying to work through.
Yeah, I did put 12 guys into that ladder match, but who cares about that? That's just a little cheat. I mean, the match has to be involved. I mean, whatever it ends up being, they're probably going to be in that ladder match, I said. So um, I'll get
Yeah.
at least a half point, I think, with that. But yeah, that is my predictions. Comment your predictions for the WrestleMania card below. Stay tuned to see Zach's predictions and see how different they are from mine. Comment if you want us to do fantasy booking, but otherwise, thank you for watching. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on that popcorn.